Alright, hello again. This is Rebecca, your favorite interior designer with Revision Custom Home Design in Billings, Montana. Today I'm working on part 3 of a house that I started last week. This is kind of a fun one. It's sort of a conceptual design, which is always fun to do when there's not as many parameters. The client basically told me kind of what she was looking for, and I'm coming up with this from scratch, as opposed to someone handing me, a sketch on a napkin or something that they've even, tried to draw up a little bit more accurately. So, obviously having less parameters is more fun, but also a little bit more challenging in that sometimes you second guess yourself a little more during the design process, or, I work really well within a box. So, anyway, this is really fun. I'm super excited about this one. This is kind of an inspired Montana, not quite a log cabin, but kind of inspired by that, with a big giant wall of windows and a fireplace in the great room, and then sort of the private areas of the home tucked back. I picture this kind of on a hillside, but we'll have to wait and see what the client ends up picking for a lot for this particular project. So I've already spent a couple of videos going through kind of the main floor, laying out this space, and I've still got just a little bit to tweak here on the main floor, and there's a couple changes I'm going to make to what's already here too, because part of my design process is, even when I'm away from the computer, I'm still thinking about it. And so, in the middle of the night you wake up and you go, oh, that's why that didn't work, or that's why this would look better. So I am going to tweak one thing and then finish out the main floor before going on and doing the lower level of this house. So we should be good here. So as you can see, I'll zoom out just a little bit. The main part of this house is this lower T-shape down at the bottom, and then the garage is extending off the back. So again, this is probably going to be built somewhere somewhat rural, or at least on a lot of acreage. So although you'll probably approach the house from this garage side of the house, and I was thinking I'll probably draw a porch or something coming over here with maybe an exterior door into this great room that would technically be the front door, although 99% of the time people will go through the garage, you can guess, I'm sure. So, yay, I have a new subscriber! Okay, thank you. Hello. Oops, So anywho, that's the main floor of the house. So you come into the garage, it's got kind of this private area back here where it's got the master suite, a laundry room, mud room, and then the butler's pantry and the kitchen opening into this big great room for living and dining. The lower level is going to have a couple offices, maybe a guest room, and then another family room. But I think this is going to be awesome. So really quick, I'm going to fix the thing that I wasn't too keen on, which is this. I felt like, after I was playing around with this the other day and looking at it in 3D, I felt like this was almost too closed off. I mean, I like having the kitchen around a corner, but this was starting to feel a little bit tight right here. So I'm going to actually get rid of this little broom closet, coat closet, because I just don't think it's necessary. And I'm going to scooch these back just a little ways. And just shrink this up like that. So that just opens it up an extra 1.5 feet or so. But I think that'll be really useful, and just help that space to feel better. So in 3D, the kitchen is still set off to the side, but it's not closed, and this traffic flow right here is still very, very doable, very accessible. I will be going in and changing the materials on this one, because this is very suburban looking, and we need to make this look rustic. So, anywho, got that powder room done, and like I said, this half of the house is I'm pretty happy with that. So now we need to go into this master bedroom. So we've got a nice big long room. There's space over here for, say, a couple chairs. This is a double-sided fireplace here. And then we've got the master bath and a master closet. And as of right now, that wall is just completely arbitrarily placed. But we want to do, a really cool focal point, awesome bathroom. So what I'm picturing right now, the client, for this particular project, she absolutely wants a jacuzzi tub. So I'm thinking that might end up being, yep, there we go, that might be the best template I have. Okay, and I'm going to turn it, because if you're going to do this, the whole point of having this whole double-sided fireplace, so you can do this. And this is something that this is great for the design concept. We will be fine-tuning this as we go because I'll need to double-check clearances. I'll need to know what kind of fireplace they picked, how much space I need, how close the bathtub can get to the fireplace, and so on and so forth. So I might actually do something kind of like that because we've got space in the bedroom side to do more of like a mantle, like that. There we go. And then I'll scooch that over. All right, so we'll do that, and then being a jacuzzi tub, we'll have to do like some kind of a custom decking surround for it. And then we want to do a shower, of course. And I'm just going to throw in, that's a 6 foot by 3 foot shower pan. Let's see here. And symmetry is nice, but so is like the wow factor too. So let's see what we can do here that would be really cool. Part of me, ooh, this would be really cool. Okay. Let's play here. Design is a process, and you gotta have that creativity, and you gotta have fun, and try new things. And hold on. Be willing to experiment a little bit. Okay, so I might not be able to do a pocket drawer there. I might have to do a hinge door into the closet, but that's not the end of the world. But can you imagine walking into the space? That door opens. You have this beautiful shower enclosure here. Over here you got the jacuzzi tub. And then on this back wall we could do some cool windows with the vanity and then hide the toilet over here. I kind of like that, but I also feel like it might be a little bit of a waste of space. So let's swap this back and maybe do something kind of like that. Okay. So now this is a glass shower wall here.
Nice.
And then we'll do make that a 24-inch door. We'll make it glass slab. We'll get rid of the casing. Door swing, oops.
Oh shit, they're behind me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then we also need there we go. These templates just don't like to play nice with each other. Can't put that shower head over top of the shower pan. Alright, so anywho, there's that. It'll probably be like a all-around rainfall and all kinds of stuff. There might be a bench in there at some point. But that's kind of what we're looking for there. So I think, okay, so if we do the shower there, I want to get the rest of the room kind of mapped out before I start playing around with that custom surround. But this could be really cool here. We could kind of build that in. Yeah, that could be really neat there. Okay, because one of the inspiration images that, not this client, but this client's fiance had sent me was this rock wall shower with the glass. And so we could very easily carry that rock all the way around the walls and then do something really cool with tile. So you'd have like more of a rough rock wall and then like a slate tile or slate tile look on the decking here. So then as you walk in, I think what I want to do, I think I want to do the toilet.
Very nice.
I do want to do the toilet enclosed, so I'm going to put that kind of over here. Now, issue is I can't have this be a pocket door. So I'm going to change this to a hinged. Do it like that. This one, however, I can change this back to the other direction. And should be able to so yes, that does fit there. Okay, so we can pocket door to the toilet. That fits perfectly. You walk in, you see that, and then we can do something really cool with the vanities here. We'll do 4. And I am totally okay with asymmetrical layouts. I think they're quite often can be a lot more functional than your typical left, right, whatever. So for example, we might do something like this, but we might run a mirror the whole length. Or, okay, so if we drop this by 2, that's how you get that to be symmetrical if you want, but I'll play around with it. And I kind of like the idea, I would love to do a window in here. Actually, if I had my way, I might propose something even a little more unique with maybe like a window that runs the whole length and then has the mirrors that are kind of mounted in front of it. But for right now, we'll leave it at that.
You laughed, so now we'll never get in one.
Okay. And then we have closet. Perfect. Okay. So for right now, I don't know. The bathroom is huge. I'm going to, actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to change a few things. Because one of the things, so I do like this layout, and I actually kind of, in some ways, want to keep this, but this closet is not nearly as big as I think my client would like. So I'm going to just tweak this just a little bit. I'm going to make that not a glass wall, but a full height. Like that. Which then would allow us to put the shower head here. Although I want to say the shower, and I had to fight with the plumber on this, but where we took that 3-foot wide end wall, and most of the time they want you to just enclose the whole thing so they can run their pipes wherever they need to. I convinced him, since he already had to come through the floor anyway, to just do a 1-foot wide framing here with a foot of glass on either side running vertical. And it looked amazing. So, plumber didn't want to do it because it meant he had to not come from the side like he wanted, but oh well. It looked awesome and it was perfect for the client. Okay, so I'm going to move that door down because, as you can see, that allows me to reach in, turn the water on, not get splashed. And then down on this end, the client, we can decide to put a bench or something. So what I'm going to do here is, I kind of just like that window where it is. So I'm going to scooch, well, let me, Sometimes these template things are just a little bit obnoxious. It's telling me, of course, that the windowsill is there, which I know the windowsill is there. But that works perfectly. So there we go. Okay. Perfect. Okay, so I see one. Okay, I'm going to turn this one into a fixed window. And put it right there. I'm going to also turn this one into a fixed window. I'm going to leave it where it is. And then, aha, yay! So, this could look really awesome. How cool is that? Like, dude. Oh, I love it. Yay! And like I said, we'll go back here and play with the materials and get this to look all really awesome. But I think this is a client that would go for something just a little different like this. And I mean, just look at that symmetry and look at how cool that is. Awesome. Alright. Okay, so zoom out of there and move on to the closet space. And if you've watched any of my live streams before, you know how I feel about this particular closet template tool. It has its place, but it is a starting point. Basically, when I'm drawing out anything like this, what I'm doing is I'm showing the client the potential for the space that they have. But this template, it literally shows the closet shelf and the rod, which come out 1 foot from the wall. The thing that people don't think of when they look at that template or don't realize is that when you have a piece of clothing that's on a hanger,
I don't think I can go any faster.
and that you know, that hanger is centered on that rod, so the hanger itself is just shy of 2 feet.
I don't know.
So you've got to actually, so I have to draw these little lines in here to show the client, hey, by the way, it might look like you have this giant room, which you do,
So, yeah.
but you've got to keep those hangers in mind when you're thinking about how you're going to walk through the space, where some of these shelves can overlap or meet in the corner.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Yeah.
So for example, I'll come down
Now
here.
it's like, I don't know how many tons.
Get all of them. Okay. And you can see this shelf has to stop kind of where it is, because if I were to pull the shelf any closer to that corner, it would hit those hangers. And then again, you know, I put this down here. Yes, you can run that rod into the corner, but you're going to have this 2 feet where you're kind of having to reach past. So that might affect
The clashing.
your decision for, you know, how you lay this out in terms of hanging rod, shelf, all of that. But this just shows you how much linear space you have to do whatever closet storage you want. So, okay, so I'm going to label this as our master bath. And then I'm not going to label the closet because it's pretty obvious visually what that is. But I do, okay, so this is 23 inches high.
Go ahead.
So I'm really quick just going to draw in.
C57, careful.
And this is my Polyline Solid tool.
He's an auto letter.
So we'll do 22. Okay. Okay. Polyline Solid, which basically is a tool that allows me to build whatever I want visually for the 3D rendering. You know, I'll have to work with the carpenter or the contractor later to figure out how to frame this out and exactly what we want, but this gives us just a good visual representation of what we have to play with. So it starts out as a rectangle, and then I can do little breaks like that to kind of drag and drop. It's very similar to SketchUp in some ways, where you're pushing and pulling to get this cube to do what it is that you want. And so right now, even though it just looks like a straight little line, in 3D, when I zoom in, you'll see that it is actually a cube. So we're going to come over here. Here I think I want to do maybe like an angled something or other, so let's do like that. Let's pull this over. I want to bring this down to the corner. And then we'll come back over to this piece.
Over on the bank. Yeah.
Okay. So, there is my little... Sometimes when they end up meeting, that line goes away, but... So if we were to pull this up in 3D, pretend we're kind of hanging out over here by the vanity. And then this, we'll say, because you know the top of that, there we go. You know the top of that bathtub is 23, the surround is 22, and that's really tall. We don't need it to be 45, so let's make that, let's see what 30 looks like. Okay, and then we'll build like a mantle structure kind of around that as well. But for now, and then I'm just going to use my eyedropper tool real quick. We're going to do that tub decking, and then I'm also going to zoom on in here. Not in the room when it happens. There we go. And then so there we go. So now
Need to buy a couple more tins for this thing.
you can see how that kind of masses really nicely. So
Oh, we did.
again, we can play around with ceiling heights. Right now these are standard 9 foots. We can put can lighting in the shower. We can hang a really cool chandelier over here. Like I said, the other half of this client, the fiance had mentioned like really rustic stone, slate, rock look. So that's definitely something we can play with here. But look at that. So as you come in, there we go. Yeah, I think this is going to look awesome. Okay. And then there's that closet. We know what that is. And then you want everything to be visually easy to see. So actually, I think I am going to label this closet. Sometimes if they're small enough, I don't mess with labeling closets because visually you know what they are. But I want to give the client an idea of the measurements here. And then, even though I know what this tool is, or what this symbol is, I'm going to just make a quick little text note here, just so it's easy for the client to see. And then also the same thing here, I want to showcase, or I want to point out, this is a,
What?
there we go. Alright, so there I've just kind of made that note. So we can see just that we know kind of template-wise where I'm at, size-wise. Okay, so I think we've made pretty much all these changes to the main floor. The only other big stuff here, of course, is then windows. Now I've started to do that a little bit in the bathroom there. I had already added a window into the laundry room because I thought it looked nice. And I've already got a couple windows over here in the kitchen, which are pretty awesome, and the butler's pantry. But now here comes the big stuff. So I love that pair of windows in the kitchen. I think I'm going to try and mimic them on this side. Here. And then I had talked about doing sort of like a front door. Sorry, I didn't hit my mic there.
What's that?
So I'm going to do this, but I think I want it to be like a French door. So we're going to go with glass panel. And we'll do it like that. But then we want those to open in. And then I'm going to copy those on this side. And then we need big giant stone.
Blueprints.
Yeah. Okay. And then what we'll need to do here, again, that Polyline Solid tool that I like. Well, let me click. I wonder if it'll let me. Okay. Yeah, it won't let me push out to those exterior walls. And if we look at the room from here, that's what that looks like. So, I mean, at the very least, we should be able to make, oh, no. Nope, it's not. Okay. So we'll have to manually create that. Now the one thing I wanted to do in this room here, I want this part out here to be vaulted, no matter what. But I'll have to, I'm still kind of debating because I want to show, so right here I've got a staircase that could go up to a potential balcony, mezzanine, whatever. We are going to have this be the staircase that goes down to the basement. But I kind of like the idea of having this big giant stacked thing going up. We just don't really have a purpose for up there, other than just maybe one extra little sitting space. So I think that would be something where budget-wise, that would be something I would, meet with the clients and we would decide. But I think what I'm going to do is, because structurally what we would most likely end up doing to make that space vaulted, your ridge line will be running right down the center where I've got this the blue line of my cursor, which actually lines up perfectly with the side of that staircase. I love that. And so the ceiling will be vaulted up like this. But then, now on these two side walls, from there back, off to the side, everything will be the flat ceiling. And of course these rooms back here would be the flat ceiling.
Right.
So structurally we'd have to, have a beam running here for the terminus of that roof, depending on how we do that. I'm not an engineer though. I'm just trying to think ahead to engineers saying, you can't do that, you have to put a beam in, or a post, or whatever. So, you can do whatever you want, you just have to pay for it. Alright.
Shit's dangerous.
So I am going to
Makes me want to buy some of my tea
go ahead.
towels.
Okay. It's not going to be exactly perfect, but I am going to get rid of the flat ceiling over this room. I'm keeping the roof, getting rid of the flat ceiling. And then the same thing with, if it'll let me click on this room. It doesn't want to, hold on. There we go. Structure, no flat ceiling. Okay. So now, if we hop back over to that camera, because I have no roof, that's what it looks like. Once I get a roof on there, you'll be able to see that vault. So now what I want to do, I've got the French doors, which I love, and now I want to start putting in windows. And I'm thinking what I'm going to do here is, and I'm not, for right now I'm just going to show them as fixed, and then we can always go back with the client and meet with the window vendor and figure out all that. But I want these to be 7 foot tall. Okay. There we go. That's the look. And then actually we'll probably wrap the corner. That is the big open feel that we want. So here you can see how that roof, how that ceiling line would pop off. Oh, this is going to be awesome. Okay. You know what? I think I am just going to show the mezzanine because I think that is a really big selling point in this design. So I'm going to go up, we're going to call this attic, tools. Actually, well, I can't call it attic, I have to call it second floor.
Hi,
So
Grandpa's here.
Grandpa's here?
Open floor.
Nice.
I'm going to make a
Yeah,
blank
I
plan,
walked away to Grandpa's
so that way I
house.
can then choose. So it's just
Did
9
you?
feet.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a long walk.
Was it? I
Yeah.
thought it was a long walk.
So now here you
Yeah.
can see.
That was a long walk to our house.
I'm sure.
All right.
Yeah.
Was it fun?
Yeah, but are you want to come
Yeah.
upstairs? Grandpa's here.
Well, I'm not wearing pants.
So I'm going to do a
then.
railing. I'm going to come across here.
Maybe Mama could run up there real quick.
Hey, Mama.
Okay. I'll be right back.
I want to see Grandma's here. I want to see Grandpa's here. There's the toilet.
He enjoyed his walk home so much when Grandpa was ready to leave. He's like, I'll walk with you. Let's go. But let him just stay here. So. Alright, sorry for the pause. I am back. Cool. Yay. Sweet. Okay, so I'm up on the second floor. All I'm trying to do is add a little mezzanine. I'm not wanting to add a lot of space. I don't want to take away from what's going to be this gigantic vaulted space out here. So I'm really not going to do too much. I think all I want to do is, I believe the way to do this is going to be interior wall. So,
We got our IS7
this starts to get into like attic walls and all that. And I'm not so great with some of that stuff, but
yeah.
we will do this. So basically all I'm doing is creating this little loft area. It's going to have railing here.
I got wrecked.
And it's coming up. It'll have railing across here.
It's been forever since I've been wrecked.
Okay, that needs to line up with below. That needs to line up with below. We're going to call it, oops. We also need, because it's railing on 3 sides. Okay. Alright. And then, see, it already sees that there's a staircase coming up, so it created that opening. This is open to below, and then we don't want to label it because we want the stairs to be visible. Perfect. I'm going to scooch this out of the way. And so these 2 side walls, that's kind of where I was talking about how, you know, structurally when we go to put the roof on, these need to be lined up kind of like that. If I, and this is all approximate. Like I said, this is still the initial design phase. I think that goes back further. There we go. Yeah. Okay. So this creates our balcony. The side walls will be part of where the roof comes down. The back wall will just create, and then there'll be some dead attic space back there. You know, we can maybe have usable attic space, but basically that's just, we're not going to include that in our design. So we come on up, there's this railing, and then we look down, and there's this overhang. So let's see what this looks like. So again, I don't have a roof. And you can see that railing. But that's what that upper mezzanine, and again, that's not going to have a flat roof. So here, if I click on this, we're going to call this balcony. It is, oh, we'll decide. But I am gonna, it is gonna have a roof. It's not gonna have a flat ceiling. So then as we do that roof, that'll kind of determine what this ends up looking like. And then I just need to make sure that this also has roof, but no flat ceiling. And again, there you can see that, what that looks like. So basically, I've just created this little loft area upstairs where you can see down below. A tiny part of me almost just wants to make it just like a hallway where you can stand up there and look down, and then even look down on this side. But I guess with that powder room and everything, there's really nothing to look out down on back there.
Yeah, no, my turret's...
And otherwise it's kind of a staircase to nowhere. So at least this way you have enough space that you can have like a secondary seating area up here to really take advantage of the views that are going to be there. So I think I like that. I'm going to go back down to the main floor. And so there you can see the footprint of that balcony in that red rectangle. I kind of love it. Yay! Okay. So I'm going to turn off my reference display. Now I want, okay, so now that I've got that, if I hit save, now I'm going to build my foundation. Now I do want my basement walls, hold on, I want 9 foot. And actually it's going to be, there we go, basement ceiling height is 9 foot. I think we're good. We're going to derive this from the first floor plan. So you can see we've got the foundation going for that garage that's back there, and then here we've got the foundation for the main part. Now this front portion here will probably end up being, you know, the concrete footings with your normal siding walls, because I'm imagining this as a walkout basement. Depending on the lot that the client picks, it might not be, but you know, I'm kind of picturing just a little bit of a slope. So you come in at garage level, and then the slope kind of goes off. So I'm going to leave it shown this way, but more than likely I'm going to tell the client this is what I was thinking, and so if we can find a lot that has a little bit of a hillside to it even, you know, a walkout or at least a daylight kind of basement. So now I do need to real quick turn on my reference display one more time because I got to get my staircase in the right spot. So interior walls, over, 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 and then we'll do that. That'll connect it. Okay, so we'll line that up with above, line that up with above. Okay, and we need to tweak that. Okay, there we go. So now everything is aligned, and again we're going to build, staircase. U-shaped stair, clockwise, yes. There we go. So now, tools, turn off reference display, and now we're in our basement. So now if we take a look here, there's our awesome staircase. We can definitely put a little door here and have some storage. We could choose to open that up and just have it be this focal point as we come down. We'll have to see how we play that around with what else goes on here in the basement. But really quick, I want to show you this. So look at that. That is awesome. So you got this balcony up above. You've got this staircase that kind of spirals up. I'm picturing a railing here, not a half wall or anything. Yeah, so let's do that real quick. Why did that not work? Okay, so let's delete. Okay.
Wow, pretty beat up. I'll give her a shot.
So there you go. Yeah, we'll play around with that. So that's that cool double stacked U-shaped staircase that goes around. Awesome. Okay.
They're mediums.
And then if we go down a floor, that's what that looks like downstairs. And again, maybe we'll do railing, we'll play around with it. So, what we need to accomplish down here in the basement is either one large office that can be shared, two separate offices, maybe, and then a small guest suite and like a family room. So you come down, obviously the most logical is for this space right here in the middle to be big open family room. So we'll leave that as that. Over here, I'm picturing this kind of as the guest suite. And I'm actually going to, real quick, turn on my reference display again. Because we might just kind of mimic what's going on up here with an albeit slightly smaller bathroom suite. So I'm going to carry this back. And forward. And then
Oh, I missed him.
right here, line with above. Now, again, being a basement, you've got the concrete, but then you've got to fur out your walls and stuff. So to finish this and to have this be, you know, finished space. Do that. You've got to draw in your interior walls on top of your other walls. Now, there might be some other trick. Anyone that knows Chief Architect, if you know of any, I would love to hear them for basement finish walls. It might just be a template that I need to make for myself. I'm not quite sure. where I could have that foundation wall and then fur it out and add sheetrock. Because right now this is actually assuming that I have a second sheet, that I've got sheetrock on both sides of that. And for actual basement construction, you don't. You only have the sheetrock on the outer face. You have just a vapor barrier. So anyway, so if I was actually using Chief to calculate materials, it would be double counting my sheetrock in my basement area, basically, or at least on my perimeter walls. All right, so now we've got that. Here's the wall that. There we go. And then we don't need near as big of a closet or a bathroom. We just need a closet and a bathroom. And I don't even know that it needs to be an ensuite. Honestly, I think... So maybe I'm going to change it up a little. Okay. Rethink just a tiny bit. We'll do the bedroom as this back room. And then we can carve out a closet and a bathroom here that everyone out here can use. Okay. So let's do that. So turn off that floor display. Okay, now we've got what we need.
I had 30 million silver I could buy a few of my tier 10s.
I'm going to delete this wall. Oh, tough. I'll pretend. Okay. There we go. Still a big walk-in closet, but not. Okay. So then we need door into here, door into the bathroom, and door into the closet. And like we were doing on the main floor of this house, because the scale of this house, it's not huge, but it is just a slightly larger scale, or at least we want it to feel larger. All of the interior doors are 3 foot for the most part. Except for maybe like a closet here and there, but even there, we'll see. Alright. So let's bring this out just a little ways. For a bathroom, we need a minimum of 5'1". And I am doing this where you do have to step out of the guest bedroom to get into this bathroom because it's, you know, you don't want to necessarily have to go, well, you don't want to have to go into the guest bedroom to get to the bathroom if that's the only bathroom in the basement. And you need to plan your bathrooms and things like that for how are you going to use it most often. Are you going to have guests 5 days a year and then you've built yourself into this corner where you have a bathroom that you don't use, or, you know, whatever. I mean, there's a lot of different reasons to design things a certain way, but yeah, think about how you're going to use the space. That makes way more sense. I'm going to switch this one to a pocket door, and being that this one's a closet, I'm going to switch this one back to a 2'6". Turn that the other way, and I'm actually going to make this just a little bit bigger. Because we have that 3 foot door, I don't want it hitting the vanity. So I'm going to give myself 6 inches. Okay. We'll do a tub shower down here in the basement. Going to reverse that so that the faucet's on the other end, which is that way all of our plumbing is lined up in a row. Alright, and then over here we'll do Now we have a bath. We have a closet. And this is huge. We have a guest bedroom.
It's okay. I'm not a big fan of it. I like the IS4 better.
So the dimensions are just a little bit smaller than the master bedroom upstairs. We could actually scooch this back just a little ways if we wanted. Maybe give that back in a little more space. Okay. There we go. And give this closet just a little extra. Okay. So then real quick.
Took a long one.
And then I'm just going to quick copy and paste. Okay.
Oh my goodness. Fire for effect.
Okay. Now we have windows on that back wall, so it'll be really easy to do a couple egress windows here. Technically we only need one, but I'll draw two for now. Okay. So, next we need, so here's the bigger, large family room. I'm gonna quick finish framing out the interior walls here. This space here behind the staircase will most likely be utility. So that doesn't need the additional framing.
It's the silver demand is just too much.
Okay.
Yeah, I always wonder those
Well, that's
figures
silly.
just are given, you know.
There we go. And then that little nook that's there can be, we could do something cool with like built-in shelves from the outside or whatever, but lots of options. Okay, so then the staircase, like I said, we could decide that we want to do this just as completely open. The fiance's version of this house had kind of an open, almost industrial look staircase. So we could decide that we want to just do essentially railing and not enclose the bottom of the stairs and just really make it a feature point,
Oh, look at this.
focal point, whatever. If that's the case, actually I kind of like the idea of, here, hang on. I have to do that as half walls. Oh, no, that. No, did that work? Okay. Okay, so that's not going to work, but in reality, we could actually drag that back.
Yeah, that might have worked for sure.
There we go. I kind of like that. Okay. So then, basically this whole space over here could be office, storage. We can really decide how to divide that out. Actually, let's do this.
Typical.
Okay. Sorry, I had to think about where I was going with this. Okay, utility storage. We'll call that the office, and it's plenty big enough to be shared by two. And then this just becomes family room. Okay, so now what do we feel, like what do we think the, I don't know, I don't like that jog here. I actually, I don't want to enclose underneath it. I think I want to leave the stairs as open as possible. So what that's going to look like is that. I like that. Yeah. Okay, so now the office, I don't want it to be completely, like over here, this outer space, I totally envision a ton of windows, possibly walkout, something. But I don't want this office to be without natural light. So I'm going to almost mimic those two windows that are upstairs. There we go. Oh, see, that did it. My old version, it didn't necessarily recognize that those were touching, and so it would draw the window in the foundation wall, but not in the drywall. Sweet. Okay. So we've got a couple windows there, and then I might actually mimic this one too. Okay. So it's a natural light. If the clients ever realize that they didn't like sharing an office, maybe we could do that. Maybe we could do one there and one down here. And then they could always just build a wall down the middle if they decided they needed their own space. But yeah, I'll mention that in the meeting. But for right now, I think I'll leave it that way. And then, okay. So I need these to have some uniformity to the spacing. And sorry, I moved back up to the main floor real quick. Let's do 1 foot. 1 foot. 1 foot. Okay. Come over to this side, do the same thing. Okay. So we're going to copy and paste. So I'm just really quick making sure that these have nice even spacing. So when I go here to my exterior, you can see how that all fits together. And they're pretty well spaced. Yeah, I mean, they're not exactly lined up. I'll need to... Yeah, that's not exact, but... Let's see here. There we go. That looks lined up. Those windows look pretty close. Those windows look pretty close. Basically, we're just trying to add as much symmetry as we can. And when you've got windows stacked, you can landscape easier. You can fit all this together. Okay, so we have an operable window there in the laundry room, and then windows up there in the bathroom. So let's... I don't know. This spot, I don't know that I care so much. We'll do a nice big window there. I mean, I do care, but sorry, that came out wrong. In order for, we'll have to carve out an egress well for this anyway, and more than likely there'll be some kind of hillside here. So here I don't care as much because it's not as visible. Those egress windows kind of nestle into a hillside, and we may decide that it's better to have the windows over here anyway. Alright, so there is the basic house. Okay. Now, don't need that, don't need that. I think we've pretty much met all of the basic requirements. Obviously this lower level there'll be some fine tuning as the client decides exactly what they need, how much utility space. Maybe they don't need or want that staircase to be as focal point awesome. Maybe we do decide to split this into 2 offices. So we'll play around with a couple different options there. That needs to be centered. Alright. Okay, so that is the house. Go ahead and hit save. And then next up is the part that I like the least, roof. Now I've tried as best as I can to keep this one simple, but simple is a relative term. So, alright, so what we're going to do here, the first one is going to be a gable that runs end to end across this middle part of the T. So I'm going to get my roof, and I'm going with... I think I'm going to switch this up to a 10/12 pitch. It's going to auto populate at an 8/12. I need to find the mid. There's the mid, okay. Give myself my 18-inch overhang. out here and do the same thing. And I'm going to switch this up to a 10. Okay, so now I'm going to come over here and do the same thing. Again, I've got to go in and switch this to a 10. Okay, so really quick, the way that I check my roofs, it's my orthographic overview. So, it's a roof. Oh, my overhang's off on that side. Okay. But yes, there it is. I have a roof on the basic part of the house. Awesome. Okay, now I need to do a roof out here. And here, I've got the point here at the front of the house, kind of like the prow of a ship. There's going to be a gable running that way that intersects the other one. So again, I'm going to come out here, come forward, and then I'm finding my midpoint, endpoint. Changing my pitch. And I'm going to fix my overhang here in a minute. I'm not my pitch. Now, hold on one second. My baseline. Okay, yeah, my baseline's matched. Okay. So now I'm going to take this roof plane and bring it on back here. I'm going to bring it out just a little ways. Okay, wait. Let's do 18 foot.
Yeah, thank you.
Because then I need to mimic this angle. Gonna come there, and then we're gonna lock that. Okay. So now again, we're gonna go to the overview. Now something is not right. What is? I think that one, no, it says it's right. It's not. Okay. So we're going to delete this one and I'm going to try again. Again, switch the pitch. Okay. There, yay, that works. Now, obviously, that's not correct. So what we'll do is and then we'll do the same thing with this one. Okay. So that's closer. And there's a few ways that we can rectify those roof planes meeting up. We can make the pitch of that large section a little bit shallower so it doesn't go up as high. We could make the other one sharper, but I don't like to go above a 10 if I don't have to. We could also bring that angle back, but then square off that end. And that might be what I end up doing here. But really quick. Look at that. Okay, we gotta get rid of that roof plane there. So let's do snippy snip. Okay. And the roof that I'm working on is purely for illustrative purposes. I am not an engineer. I don't know anything about roofs to the point where they can be built. I know enough that I can make them look like they could be built. But, yeah. Okay, that's closer. So I need to actually pull this back. And you can see that has finally gotten me to where I need to be there. Okay, that's good. So I'm going to do the same thing with this one. And then I'm going to do a little snippy snip here. And a little snip there. There we go. Yay! So then they'll just end up being like a little gable end vent thing there. That's how that roof looks. And then I just need to quick get the garage. And the garage again is going to be fairly easy. And for the garage, I'm probably just going to leave it at the 8/12 pitch. It really doesn't need to be any sharper than that. Okay, and then we just need to pull this over here. Pull this over here. And then check to make sure that there's no weird intersections. Okay. Now I need that to intersect. That looks right. Okay. And that meets that just fine. So then I need to snippy snip this roof. Should break line it, not snippy snip, but okay, right there. I guess that's the technical term. And there we go there. So that roof, perfect. So the roof of the garage feeds right into this main part of the house. And then this roof over here, yay! You can totally see how that all fits together. I like it. Nice and simple, but awesome. Okay, so then what I like to do, oh, forgot to do one thing here. Get my overhangs to match up. Okay. I like to always have my roof planes on a higher floor, so I display on floor above. Ideally, I like to have them show on the attic level. Okay, so now I go up here. And again, I don't really want them here. I want them up on the attic level. So I'm going to go up one more level here. Chief automatically populates the attic level once you create the roof.
Oh, yeah.
And this is just cleaning it up for display purposes, so that you can see but you need to see it without all the extra lines. Okay, so now as you can see,
Oh wow, sure. See that?
this balcony has this angled roof.
Hopefully it goes well.
So I'm going to so that space in the corners really isn't usable.
Oh, very cool.
There we go. Okay. The only way for me to get an accurate look at that one, though, is to do a cross-section view. So okay, so here is that attic. Oh, and you can see my roof isn't quite perfect, but okay. So our railing is generally 36 inches, which really means that this triangle over here is kind of worthless. So if we use that as our guideline, we can kind of come over here and measure the same thing. That's a pretty big difference. Okay. Let's see if the interior dimension will work. Okay. Yeah, because there's no headroom otherwise. Okay.
Yeah, red zones.
So let's take this one that was a railing. I'm going to delete that and turn it
Just
into
kind of
interior
depends.
wall.
Today I'm running a carving sword.
I'll align that with below.
I'm looking to fight people today, probably. So, yeah, I'm just running a carving sword on that. So I think I was running 6-1. So I'm at about 12.9 IP.
And that was about 7 foot over that I came over. So we're basically just going to make this that.
I can't. What's that? If I can't find them, maybe I'll dive a dungeon or something, or I don't know.
So there's going to be a few little attic walls, miscellaneous.
Hey, if you want to, you're welcome to join me.
But now you can see you've actually got kind of a moderate amount of headroom. So basically there'll be a drywall wall that extends there.
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah. And normally I just go to, start at long timber and work my way around.
Should be able to turn this into... Okay.
Nope, I'm running the horse. Okay.
Okay.
This here is nice.
And so what we'll end up doing is we'll end up actually carrying that floor plane. Like I know it doesn't...
Dad,
Yeah.
can I have some?
That'll carry flat.
That pink one.
Yeah, essentially you'll just have basically
Yeah,
that
you
that
can.
section right there, that line would be flat planed all the way back.
Good stuff.
And then your balcony is just this little kind of rectangle. So again, you're going up,
Gotcha.
you've got a little bit of space for maybe a bookshelf and...
Taco?
Yep.
I want peanut butter jelly.
Okay, hang on just a second. And then we've got that, we've got the flat plane, we've got that. Okay, so again,
I like
camera. We're going to stand here kind of near the bottom of the stairs. That's that. And then I just need to build
I like to work on different weapons
stone
and stuff.
back for that. So hang on one second. Polyline Solid.
Make,
Hang on.
hey, Mama, make paper jelly for me.
Yep, hold on.
You can make this three.
Yep, just a sec.
You can
Alright.
make it.
So I'm going to drag this on over. I need to do a break line here
Hey,
to
this
lift that
like
into
is
the
worth it.
corner. And then I need to drag these back
I think it is anyway.
like that. Keep my line straight there. And then when I go back to my
Right.
camera view,
I'll go with that.
okay, now I don't need my edges to come in that.
I eventually, my philosophy on it has been eventually I will get close enough to the next on certain sets of elements that won't matter anyway. I'm moving right along on swords.
Okay.
Actually.
So now I just take my eyedropper tool, make that match up.
Just because I've been playing them all, trying stuff out.
And then this will actually extend up like that. Okay, I don't need that right now, but I do like that view. Okay. And close out that camera. And then we can do this exterior view like this. Okay, so that's a little tall. But like that, probably. And more than likely, honestly, that would end up carrying outside. So actually, let's... If we do the whole big stone fireplace thing... Okay. And then let's actually bring it over just a little ways. There we go. Awesome. And then the last little thing before I kind of call this good as we had talked about, or I had talked about, possibly a kind of a wraparound porch, partly to access the front door,
Yeah.
and then
Hey, this is a grabber thing.
partly to, because we don't need that dimension.
Oh, nice, yeah.
I remember this. What's
Mm-hmm.
his name?
Tweezers.
Yeah, it came
Okay.
from Holden thing.
Tweezers, yeah. They're
That's
holding
Okay.
things.
This came from.
So then if we do that,
Those came from grabbing things.
Little,
This came from grabbing.
little tweezers, yeah.
It came from grabbing.
okay. So then we want railing.
Of this name.
Okay. And then we need, well, we'll show it there, but then more than likely there'll be like a step or something
Hey,
in here.
Mama.
Hang on.
I grabbed something with sticks.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I grabbed.
Good job. Okay,
I
so
grabbed the
stairs.
turkey feed.
Yes, and that would be really fun too, and possibly very lucrative.
Okay. So I want,
Sure.
Hey, Mama.
just a second.
Can you please? Hey, Mama. You need to turn this down. Down.
Hey, that is no.
Put this down.
Yeah, I saw him. enough for hardwood.
Okay, so basically I just have like a 6-foot wraparound deck. You know, maybe we'll decide, like right now that's 12 on both sides, so maybe actually that makes sense. Let's do that. Let's do 12 foot there.
Yeah, is it?
And 12
I
right
know
there.
it was,
There we go.
done some before and it was pretty cool.
So you've got like a nice little deck off to one side here by the master. You've got another deck off here kind of as you enter the house. Awesome. Okay, now I need to make sure that my deck does not have a covering to it. Oops, cancel. It is a deck. The structure does not have a roof or a ceiling.
It's floss for between your teeth.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Oh, can you do?
That's a cool look. Yay! And then, depending on, again, so much goes back to picking the right lot and everything, but depending on the lot that the client picks, you know, there might be stairs down. Yeah, so there's stairs right there. Hold on.
Yeah. What?
Can you put this back up?
I can't put it back in. Once it's pulled out, I can't go back in. What I can do is I can
There we go.
cut it off like this. There you go.
And then we'll do the material. I like the darker color, so we'll...
Where'd you? I got you this one.
Oh, your feet just pulled off still.
You pulled it off.
Yeah, you put it back together and you put my, I want PPJ.
I know.
Hey Mama, can I use this part?
Yeah, the static map. Yeah, Em and I went out and did some of those, you know. Pretty decent. We did start
What's
doing
this
road
made
stuff
for?
afterwards.
Oh, it's for cutting fabric.
Road and the
Oh,
Black
can I
Stones
cut
Fury,
fabric?
and we ended up
Not
making
right now, honey.
Oh,
Okay.
can I?
probably 4 or 5 million each.
Okay, so I like that. You want to make the French doors match.
Nice.
Okay. And then I don't like the... kind of want to do vertical. I think vertical would look really cool.
What, honey? Yeah, you grab that. Mama's gonna get you a PBJ. I know she will.
I know, I'm coming.
PPJ.
Okay, so now we're just going to copy this. Turn the corner.
Yeah, there's not much going on here. Maybe we'll go north. I checked the green portal. The other one, I was just gonna look at this one. This one's a short timer.
Again, we'll turn the corner.
34 minutes.
Oh, and I can see I've got a siding wall inside. I gotta fix that.
No. Yeah, no, it's not working.
Okay.
It's go north. More.
So I'm really
This
liking
one
the
has
overall
really
look of
good
this.
Stuff, but it's all larger content. They're not large, but medium content. 5 band is like 460.
leave that part alone. Okay, so
Yeah.
now for some reason it's not showing the black on those lower windows.
Yeah, it is funny. It's crazy how that worked out. What's they say?
Can you show your blindness to me?
I think he's from Chicago.
And that one too, weird.
That's jam sheet.
Double check.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, those basement ones, I didn't want to do the...
No. Davis is from
Okay,
Chicago.
there we go. Sweet, okay. I think this is looking awesome. And then, oh, duh.
I want to watch a movie Among Us.
Yeah.
I want to watch a movie Among Us.
Yeah.
No, Among Us.
Among Us?
Yeah.
I didn't know that there was a movie Among Us.
Yeah.
And then we're going to
Among Us
mimic
is-
shape.
is-
Match roof.
This one's kind of garbage. We could go check the screen over here. This Petitas.
Can you watch Among Us in my iPad?
Yeah, or you can watch it in my bedroom on YouTube.
I watching YouTube in your room.
Mm-hmm. And you can watch people play Among Us on it.
Yeah, in your show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, can you please do that?
Yeah, let me get Alex to help you with it, okay?
No, turn on Among Us. Okay. Can you, are you want...
And so we're just going to match the shape.
Timer. It
Fix
just
the other way.
happened. That just happened while we were riding over here. This is a crossroad. Let's go up.
Okay, and there we go. That's the finishing touch. Okay.
So that one's shit. Let's pop out again and we'll go to our reach-outs window, I guess.
Oh, I freaking love it. Yay. Alright, so that is the house. Yay. Now I noticed, like I said, there was one wall here where yeah, it's got that as a siding wall running all the way through, and it needs to be a interior 6, not a siding 6. Still needs to be 6 inches for framing, but does not need the siding on it because that's just dividing the house and garage. There we go. Alright, so go ahead and hit save. The next step is doing the layouts. So,
Oh, yeah.
and I've got my templates here. So I have my RGB template. Then I click Save As. Okay. On page 0 of the template,
There we go.
it's got all my
Wow, large.
page borders and everything.
This is going to TFU.
Actually, I don't need that little. This one.
So, I have a left letter.
Okay.
I probably finished everything here. Yeah, okay. Let's bring back lines. Clause.
Okay. So, Pages 1 couple don't really matter. Plot plan we don't have because the client hasn't purchased a lot yet. So we're going to go right here to first floor plan. Default's 1/4 inch. Now it's saying I'm too big, but I'm looking at this and most of it's because of the dimensions. So if I tweak my positioning on those, I should be okay.
Okay, we'll just kind of use this as bait. Don't get too deep into this, don't like make sure.
And generally I don't like to have the dimension lines within the structure, but the deck is the one is the exception. At least at this point in the process. Okay, so all of my other measurements are there, and basically at this point, each room is called out internally by what it is. I've got all of the jegs and jots around the perimeter called out, and that's really the important thing. And then the overall square footage is there. Okay, so that's some. So let's bring this on in. Let's bring that on down. So let's see what this looks like if I scooch this. See what's going on up here. Okay. Now, normally I leave my template alone, but in this case, if I can move that, there we go. There we go. That gets it out of the way far enough that everything's visible here, it's not crowded. Perfect. Normally I like to have everything flipped. Actually, so yeah, duh, this is my template. I can do whatever I want. So let's go back to 0.
Can you make paper jelly
And then I'm just
for
going to
me,
scoot
Mama?
this. Yep, just 1 second. Scoot this on over. Go back to page 6. And move my plan.
Yeah, sure, I should fill this guy up. Sure. Took a look at this and decided that we were probably too much.
There. So now all of my project notes can go on the right-hand side, which is generally how I like to have them laid out anyway. So this actually works
Make paper jelly.
really well. Yes, hang on. Okay, so folks, hang on. I will be back in 2 minutes.
Why are you talking to a boy?
Oh boy, excuse me.
Oh, you want to go finish that site? Might as well. Maybe it'll come back. got some if you want one.
All right. So as my toddler was saying, it is peanut butter jelly time. All right. Yeah, I'd say my resolution's pretty low, so okay. Back to Chief. All right, so what I'm doing here is setting up my layout pages. So I decided to fiddle with my template just a little bit. I mean, every project is different. Sometimes you have to play around with the scaling. If that hadn't worked, I would have rotated it 90 degrees and gotten to fit on the plan that way. But all right, so okay. I think I'm drawing a blank on some of my other standard notes. Alright, I can't think of anything else at the moment, so usually I use this, especially in this first draft, I'll use the notes section as a kind of place for me to write a few little comments or questions for the client. But we'll walk through. Okay, now the one thing I don't have here. Oh, and then the total square footage. So right now my living room, hold on.
Look at that. Okay, portal.
Generally, Chief doesn't want to include stairwells in its floor space calculations.
I don't know, but that was arch.
because it's not actually flooring, but it throws people off when you have a basement that is larger than a main floor when there's no obvious exterior differences. So I've been trying to get in the habit of
Right.
undoing that feature. Okay, so that makes our main floor living area 1884.
If there are people up here, I'm sure there are. Just keep
Okay.
going. When
second floor plan. This is where we'll send that balcony.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Westminster Town, I think.
And it's 75 square feet.
That is a site where you put down a hideout. Yeah, I think they were looking at it. I don't know if they knew what it was. TFU. So this is
Sometimes
their
typing
place.
just is too much. Okay.
Just keep going, it's alright. Just don't engage them. Got it? Well, we got our shields.
No, you know what? I'm not even going to mention that. We'll figure that out. Okay, balcony is optional.
Poison on me. Let's see. Oh, do we want to look in this? Oh, I looked in there already. Yeah, that one we don't want to do. Yeah, I know these guys. There's probably.
Okay. With my plan notes, I always like to draw the little box around them, which I think I forgot to do on the previous page.
Yeah, they're gonna.
Yep.
We kill them a lot.
Okay. There's no third floor plan, roof plan.
Alright,
What
let's
did I do here? That's what it was. Okay. I knew I had something funky there. Okay. Quarter inch. Text. Not a marker.
Man, a lot of people running claws out here. Next to that, so. Just throw the road. There we go.
I think that's it there. Okay. Bullet, bullet, bullet.
Oh my goodness.
Now, generally, I like to
That's
also
garbage.
do a quick exterior view at this point, just to show the overall shape of how the roof
Well, let's pop back out.
planes kind of look. Kind of like this elevation, or this view.
I did see a red name under right there when we came up.
Okay, so I will have to swap the location of my notes
Oh, that one's gonna pop in a minute.
with this, because otherwise you won't be able to see it.
This way. I don't know, man. Maybe we gotta explore that green more. I'm not sure.
And then foundation plan. So now we go down to, no, I didn't do any dimensions on here yet. I need to do that real quick.
No.
I'll do auto dimension, but then I'll delete the annoying ones. I know that sounds silly, but for the initial design phase,
This is bad.
you
but
don't
no,
need
it's not.
90% of what is calculated here, or populated here, I guess.
Well, let's back
I don't
out.
like
and
that
we'll go back to
one.
that green, and we can check one of the adjacents in it, or we could. I guess we could, instead of that, we could just go. What north goes to yellow, doesn't it?
So basically what I'm leaving and what I'm keeping, or, I'm getting rid of the window locations. Those are nominal, those will change, not the end of the world. What I want to keep here, and this is a little, I hate this right down here, it's crowded. You know what, I'm going to delete that and delete that. As long as we know that the overall is 30. I think we're good. Basically what I'm trying to show here, and I don't need that one either. There we go. Is just the overall jogs and measurements of the exterior foundation walls, and they match up with the main floor, so you've got them in a few different places. Okay, send to layout. Yes, it's big, and again, 1884 is the square footage.
Yeah, there seems to be some good stuff over there. I guess we could double back.
Shrink this down just a little bit.
Yeah, let's go back in real quick. This is how it always is. It seems like you can't find the fight.
I don't really like having it overlap there, but I'm kind of at a loss for space here. Yeah, we'll squeeze it in. What can we do? Okay.
Right. Just pop in here real quick and see if something comes in. Let's see if there's somebody in here. Oh, okay. Yeah, good question. They could be up at the gate over here.
Yeah, I can't really think of anything else. Oh, I do need to go back to the main floor plan though, and okay, so I'm actually going to copy this. Okay.
Oh, that could be somebody else. So actually try to do it now. Both the flags are left at free.
So now I'm actually just going to copy all of this. Okay, main floor ceiling's 9 foot flat. So I'm actually going to copy this and bring this over to that basement foundation
let's
page.
go back to this green road, this guy right here, and we'll just we'll check the adjacent roads real quick. Find some stuff. I'd like to find some people like out there doing some stuff. Yeah, that'd be alright. Here's some couple guys flagging up. Stopped when I dismounted. Alright.
Okay. So basically just making sure that all of those are uniform across all those pages. Okay. Now I want to go back to the balcony one here because here's where I want to show a cross section. Now,
Good job.
yeah, so that roof plane will be all funky. We'd find a way to match that up, but yeah, we'll show that for now. I like that. Okay.
Nice. Everybody showed up.
And part of the reason I show this is so you can see how that balcony stacks, but the other reason is for most permit process, there needs to be a cutaway through the stairwell showing that there's the appropriate headroom. So, and yeah, I will. Okay. Roof plan, foundation plan, and then we skip ahead. We don't have any of the electrical, plumbing, any of that. Page 30 is where we start with the exterior elevations. So, okay. So we look at this from the front.
Yeah, nice.
So, elevations, exterior elevations go a 1/4 inch. Do that. Okay, next up we have rear elevation.
No running. He flagged up. He didn't even try to fight us, man. He just. Oh, did he?
Okay. Now, because of the length of this, there's no way I'm going to get all four on
Yeah.
one page, so
Sorry about that.
switch to the next one. I always do left
Mike
next.
missed him with Mike. Actually, I'm sure I did.
Always remember what tool you're using, because save yourself some time. Okay. And right elevation. And that actually works really well with the way my stuff's located. So we're going to do...
These are about to respawn.
I always like to try and line those up.
Yep.
Okay. So now I've got those elevations. Yay. At the moment, I don't have any notes on those. Materials will be selected at a later date. And then, layout. And then I do like to do
This one just respawned.
a couple different views here. So I've got my kitchen laid out pretty well, and I've mapped out kind of where all my cabinets go. I did not go into the pantry and really do the same thing. So in the pantry, we want upper cabinets on that one, because we want that to be kind of like usable. And then over here, I just drew in a bunch of base cabinets, but honestly, that's going to be like floor to ceiling shelves. So I'm actually going to delete that real quick. Shelf. But I'm going to show these as 18 inches deep. We might even do some that are 24, but okay, bottom one is 18 inches off the floor. And I'm going to switch over here into camera mode, if I can. Where? No. Then I do 12-inch increments. So 30. 42.
I wanted to start a fight too. So we kept him poisoned pretty much the whole thing. His hat's not going to heal anymore after the patch.
54.
Yep, I'm putting a shield on it instead.
66.
The heel on the hat was meant for, really worked for solo, small group stuff anyway, so, you know,
And
like,
90.
it's not a big deal. It'll be a lot better helmet now for larger group content. Shield has a good cooldown.
So there we go. Yay. Who wouldn't want that as their pantry? I mean, look at that. So, obviously there'll be supports here and there, but okay. So now, the reason I took the time to do a few minutes of that is because I'm going to go through the house real quick and do a series of wall elevations. So, the ones that people most of the time want to see are the kitchen. So we'll do...
Take a couple.
And generally I do these at half-inch scale.
Yeah.
Okay, now I want to do this one.
This one's not popped yet. Yeah, I just figured this one had respawned. The other one did.
And really quick, I want to turn off my camera views because I want those to show up in the plan view.
These will probably both respawn over here. Yeah.
Okay, so those are my 3 kitchen views. Then I'll have Butler's Pantry 1. Butler's Pantry 2. Next up, we'll do the laundry room. And I need to turn on the furniture in this view, because the template for the rod there is considered a furniture item. I feel like that was some... Yeah, that one I accidentally set in 1/4 inch scale the first time. The nice thing is they're hyperlinked like that, so you can double click on it to get it to pull the view back up without having to reshoot your camera. I know they look a little blurry now, but they will. There we go. So now you can see kind of what we're working with here. Next up, we need master bath.
Nope, I've got that on. Nice.
Okay, nothing else on the main floor, so then downstairs then we would go to guest bath.
Okay. Let's see.
Oh, you want to put a mirror in here first.
Probably do.
And vanity lights. And it's the most butt ugly thing, the only template they have, but there we go. And so actually, let's do the same thing here.
This one's down.
And that's kind of cool, it kind of mimics
Chest
that,
is
so.
here.
Okay, so we'll go
That awesome.
this one. Layout, 1/2 inch. So I'm actually going to put this one down here. I think I will do that powder room real quick. Generally anywhere that there's cabinetry or some question about what the wall might look like. Okay, so now we're going to get that lined up. Okay. Now that I kind of know how many I've got, I can space them out a little bit. Okay, and then we'll get our text tool. Okay, so this is kitchen elevation 1. Oh, I need to call these out as 1/2" scale. Kitchen elevation 2. Kitchen elevation 3.
Yep. Yeah. Could have very well missed it. I don't know. There's a lot of dead stuff around here, though.
I'm going to take layer 1 because there's no 2.
View trap.
Okay. Alright, so, sorry, not allowed talking while I'm typing, but we've got all of our elevations. We've got 3 from the kitchen, we've got 2 from the pantry, laundry room, we've got all 3 bathrooms shown. Those are really the big key ones for someone to really grasp what's going on in the space. Yeah, I mean, there's really not much else to say. I'll send this over to the client and they'll be able to take a look at it and see what they think. And then I think that's pretty much it, because we've got exterior elevations, interior elevations, roof, exterior, kind of a 3D view. We don't have a plot plan, and then we have all 3 floor plans. So, 32, 31, 30. Let's go back. Yep, foundation, roof, 2-story staircase, and there we go. Perfect. So, yay. This was awesome. Thank you so much for sticking with me for this whole, was it? I don't know how long it's been. However long it's been.
Come through.
Anyway, yay. 2 hours and 15 minutes. All right. So, hope you've enjoyed watching. I definitely am enjoying this project. I really hope this one ends up getting built, although I actually like the other version that I did for the fiancé as well. But design is a process. Some things get built, some things don't. That's kind of just the way it is. So if you like watching, I really appreciate it. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends, all that good stuff. So tune in next time, and I've got a lot more of these new builds coming up. I've got a couple of remodels, so I'd love to have you tune in. Please leave a comment, let me know what you think of the videos, chat, and have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. Thank you.